Okay, bizarre plot twist. AJ offers to spar Fury to help Fury prepare for the Wilder rematch. Fury accepts within a matter of minutes, congratulates AJ on his recent win, says he'd be happy to have him in camp, says he hopes he's serious. Fury's been slagging AJ off non-stop for the past 4 years. Now all of a sudden, they're all pally-pally. What the hell's going on here? Well, AJ says that he wants to spar Fury for 2 reasons. 1, because he believes it'll help him improve as a fighter. And 2, he wants Fury to beat Wilder because he says that Fury would be more willing to face him in an undisputed fight than Wilder would. So that's AJ's rationale. Obviously, people are speculating about whether there's some hidden motivation from AJ, an ulterior motive. People are asking the question, is this a good idea for AJ to spar Fury? Is he even serious? And is it a good idea for Fury to let AJ in his camp, given the fact that these guys are going to be future opponents of each other? So lots of questions. A lot of people were caught off guard by this, including myself. Now, I personally think that AJ is being honest when he says that he wants to improve as a fighter, and that's one of the main motives for wanting to spar Fury. I think that he's probably listened to people like Spencer Fearon, not just Spencer Fearon specifically, but people like that who have been saying that he needs to re-immerse himself in the world of boxing. He needs to surround himself with more boxing people, and he needs to go back to doing some of the things which got him to becoming heavyweight champion in the first place. And one of the things he used to do, of course, was spar a lot of top fighters, including Vladimir Klitschko, who he sparred back in, I think it was 2014. I believe that was the camp for Klitschko-Pulev. And 3 years later, he ended up fighting Klitschko. Now, Klitschko is a guy who likes to, or when he was fighting, he liked to try and get a psychological edge over his sparring partners with a view to facing them somewhere down the line in the future. Tyson Fury talked about that in his book that came out recently. He said that Klitschko would try and stare the sparring partners down, and he wasn't very friendly with him because, again, he was trying to get a psychological edge so that when he faced them in a professional fight, half the battle would be won. That was the idea behind it anyway. But AJ went through that too, right? He was in the Klitschko camp, and maybe Klitschko did have some type of psychological sway over him. If you remember the lead up to their fight, Klitschko did appear to have kind of a big brother type presence next to AJ or in front of AJ. A lot of people noted that, but AJ managed to battle through that during the fight and still win despite any psychological edge that Klitschko might have tried to gain over him. So some people would say, and perhaps AJ is thinking this himself, it doesn't matter what Fury tries to do in camp psychologically, he will be able to overcome any kind of mind games or gypsy curses or anything like that. And for Tyson Fury to want AJ in camp, well, they've sparred before, right? They sparred when Anthony Joshua was just an ABA champion. So long before he became an international amateur, when he was just an ABA champion, they sparred. And at the time, Tyson Fury was British heavyweight champion as a pro. And in Tyson Fury's own words, not mine, AJ beat him up in that spar. He said AJ came at him from the opening bell, hit him with a big uppercut and was all over him like a harbor shark. But sparring is sparring. It was a very long time ago. Both guys have improved since then. Both guys are totally different fighters now to what they were back then. So we can't read too much into that spar. But for what it's worth, I've always felt that, like Anthony Joshua, will give Tyson Fury a hell of a fight. Regardless who wins, I've always felt that style-wise, AJ will give Tyson Fury all types of problems. Tyson Fury was able to deal with Deontay Wilder pretty well, although he did get clipped and dropped a couple times. He was able to deal with him pretty well because Deontay Wilder was telegraphing his punches. Deontay Wilder is more unconventional than AJ, and he's also more one-handed. AJ's more two-handed than Deontay Wilder. He may not have quite the power Wilder has in his right hand, but AJ's got a more powerful left hook. He's got a better uppercut. He doesn't telegraph his punches as much. He's got better balance. So I think Fury would have more to contend with and more to think about. AJ's also got a better inside game than Deontay Wilder. So I think Fury would have more to think about and contend with against AJ than he would against Wilder. Okay, Wilder, very dangerous with the long right hand and he's vicious. We know that. But I think AJ is a bit more technical than Wilder and that would cause Fury problems. And I'm not saying Fury can't beat AJ. I just feel like it's a real tough fight for him. All those people who think it's going to be a walk in the park, I personally think they're completely wrong. I think AJ would be a very difficult fight for Tyson Fury, and probably vice versa, right? So maybe Tyson Fury wants to see where AJ's at. And just because Tyson Fury wants to do it, and he's happy to invite AJ into camp and get some good sparring in, doesn't mean his team will be happy about it. Doesn't mean that his new trainer, Sugar Hill, will be happy about it. I mean, maybe they will, maybe they won't, but you have to understand there's a team working with Tyson Fury, not just him himself. He doesn't make all the decisions by himself. He has people that advise him and say, you know what, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. He's probably going to have the final say, of course, but he may take on board what his team members say. And of course, the same thing for AJ, because in this interview right here, Eddie Hearn doesn't seem particularly keen. I mean, that's the impression I got. He doesn't seem particularly keen in AJ going out there and sparring Tyson Fury. Maybe, again, he feels like Tyson Fury might be able to get one over on him mentally and maybe figure some things out about AJ's style, you know? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Will this actually happen? Obviously, some people have said that this is a sign that AJ's really frightened of Deontay Wilder because, you know, he is doing everything in his power to try and make sure that Fury beats him. Well, didn't Deontay Wilder say that he wanted Andy Ruiz to beat Anthony Joshua in the rematch? I mean, Joshua is basically saying all the same things that Wilder said prior to AJ Ruiz too, right? Wilder was saying, I hope Andy Ruiz wins because I think the undisputed fight is much easier to make if Ruiz is a unified champion rather than AJ. Well, AJ's saying the same thing about Wilder. He says he thinks it's going to be much easier to get the fight done if Fury's the champion rather than Wilder. He's just going that extra step of actually helping Fury, whereas Wilder didn't go that extra step of helping Andy Ruiz. So, yeah, I personally think, as I say, that Anthony Joshua, at least with regards to wanting to improve, he's being genuine. And he also is on a scouting mission to see where Fury's at, to see where he's at compared to Fury, so on and so forth. So I don't think it's just a one-way street where Fury would be figuring AJ out. AJ would also be figuring Fury out. You know? I think there's an element of that too. But as I've said in previous videos recently, I do think that in the wake of AJ losing to Ruiz, I think that AJ and Hearn probably want to target Fury before they target Wilder now. Because prior to the Ruiz loss, the first Ruiz fight, they were more keen on fighting Wilder than they were fighting Fury. They were still happy to fight Fury, but Wilder was really the guy they had their sights set on, which is why they made so many offers to Wilder. Great offers. Particularly the last offer. I mean, that was an incredible offer. So they were very serious about making that Wilder fight. They only made one offer to Tyson Fury, as far as I'm aware. I believe that was in 2018. They made one offer to Tyson Fury to fight AJ. Whereas now, maybe all the offers they're going to make will be to Tyson Fury to fight AJ rather than offers to Wilder to fight AJ. So, yeah, I do think their priorities have changed in terms of who they want to fight. And maybe it's just Anthony Joshua as well trying to give Deontay Wilder a taste of his own medicine. Wilder backed his countryman to beat AJ, and now AJ's like, okay, I'm going to back my countryman to beat you then. See how you like a taste of your own medicine, you know? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this bizarre plot twist. Did it catch you off guard like it caught me off guard? Do you think it will happen in terms of them sparring together? Do you think it's a good idea? Who do you think it benefits most? I personally, and I know most people will probably disagree with this, I actually think it benefits Joshua the most to spar Tyson Fury. I really do, because Frank Warren has come out with this here. This interview, which TalkSport I'm not sure if TalkSport did the original interview, but they've certainly covered it in this article. And Frank Warren is saying that there is a rematch clause, a two-way rematch clause for this upcoming Wilder Fury rematch. So whoever loses, they get an option to fight an immediate rematch, which could mean that we're not going to see the undisputed fight until at least 2021. Therefore, if AJ spars Fury in the next couple months, well, he's not going to be fighting Fury for at least another year after that. So he can look at what happened in those spars, make whatever adjustments he needs to make, prepare himself psychologically, and then go in there if Fury is the champion, or if he still wants to fight Fury at that stage, and apply what he learned, you know? And something Johnny Nelson said in an interview today as well is that Fury is trying to concentrate on Wilder. That's the guy that he needs to beat. So if Fury and AJ are sparring each other, AJ's thinking about, how do I beat Fury? Whereas Fury's not thinking about, how do I beat AJ? He's thinking about, how do I beat Wilder? Do you understand? Their focuses are different. And therefore the focus for AJ would just be, how do I beat Tyson Fury? You know? So he's more focused in the moment, whereas Fury's trying to think about, okay, how is this going to help me for the Wilder fight? So yeah, I think it would benefit AJ more than Fury. Be interesting to see if it happens. And even though they're pally-pally right now, you know how Tyson Fury is. 95% of the time he slags AJ off. Occasionally he does come out and say something complimentary. Let's be real. I've mentioned it before. Occasionally and randomly he'll just come out and say something good about AJ. But this pally-pally situation probably won't last long. And whether they spar or not, if they don't spar, Fury will be slagging AJ off, saying, oh, he didn't really want to spar. And then if they do spar, of course, Fury will be saying, I destroyed him in sparring and schooled him. That's just what Fury does. It was interesting that Anthony Joshua compared Tyson Fury to Muhammad Ali in some of his moves and his character. And that's something I've done years and years ago. I likened Tyson Fury to Muhammad Ali. I said that he's kind of like the modern day version. And I'm not saying he's as good as Ali, but he's the most similar character we have to Ali in heavyweight boxing today. Yeah, he's got the most similar character. And of course, you know, his style of hitting and not getting hit, moving around, being wily and smart and trying to psych his opponents out. That was Ali's game. That's what Ali used to do. He wasn't a knockout artist, especially not in his second coming, because during Ali's first reign as heavyweight champion, he was hitting pretty hard. He wasn't a devastating puncher, but he was hitting pretty hard, putting his shots together, and he was knocking people out. But in his second coming, after his, exile away from boxing, he wasn't quite the dancing master anymore. He didn't quite have the same sting on his shots, and he was really trying to outfox people, outfox people, outsmart them, psych them out, all that kind of stuff, like he did to George Foreman most famously in the Rumble of the Jungle. So yeah, I for a long time have seen that there's some similarities between Muhammad Ali and Tyson Fury, in terms of their character and what they try and do in the ring. So Anthony Joshua picked that up as well, that the similarities there. And of course, Muhammad Ali, he sparred people like Larry Holmes, right? And they ended up fighting later on down the line. So again, maybe Anthony Joshua was looking at it and thinking, you know what? There have been great fighters who ended up, fighting people that they used to spar with. And he's already done it himself with Vladimir Klitschko. So he probably is not afraid of going in there and, sparring Fury in terms of Fury doing a scouting mission and learning stuff about him. I'm sure AJ is not frightened of that. Yeah, he's going to do a scouting mission himself. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Yeah, just give me your take on it. Is it a good idea? Isn't it a good idea? Just let me know. It's happening. I'm out. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.